principle number 4. We spoke about how we know God created everything. Why is it so important to know God created everything? We spoke about evolution, all of this stuff, knowing that you're created with a purpose. You're not just a happenstance, but rather God wants you here, right? And therefore, we say where all of the half signs, all of the half eyes, half developed monkeys, half developed everything. Where are they? Whenever you judge anything in the world, you can't judge it as a lawyer. You have to judge it as a judge. Be objective. Don't look at what you could gain or lose from whatever you're judging, but rather look at what is true, okay? Just one little idea, and then we keep on going with principle number 5. There is a Tehillim, is the Tehillim of Shabbat, 92, Tzadik Bet, right? So in the middle of Tehillim, you're talking about how the world is run, so you're pretty much saying, right? Sometimes you see the wicked people and they're like flourishing like grass, and you're like, what is going on? And then at some point it says like this, there's a pasuk, it's a nice pasuk, it says, Ish bar lo yeda, an ignorant person will not know, uchsil lo yavin etzot, and a fool will not understand this. I'll say it again. The Tehillim is talking about how God runs the world, everything is made by God, but also sometimes there are things that it doesn't make sense, like wicked people flourish and righteous people are not doing well. And then, how do you conclude? You conclude saying this, quote, Ish bar lo yeda, an ignorant person will not know, uchsil lo yavin etzot, and a fool will not understand this. So, what does it mean an ignorant person will not know and a fool will not understand this? What is this, right? So there's a rabbi in America I love, he's called Rabbi Eli Mansour, if you're American, right? So he says like this, there was once this guy, he went into a tour of the NASA. You ever gone to Cape Canaveral? Okay, I went to a NASA, I fell in love with God, this was the best trip I ever did, Cape Canaveral, Florida. We could go together after we go to Croatia, Montenegro, and Serbia. We will not get any presents for Daniel either. Okay, moving on, so the guy goes to a tour of the NASA, he's touring around, it looks beautiful, you know, then they start explaining everything. It was like me, when I went to Cape Canaveral, they show you like the whole spaceship, and then there's like an astronaut engineer that answers your whole questions. I was there so long that 3 groups already came and I was still there. So my husband's looking at me like, Raquel, stop asking questions. You're not gonna get the whole thing. I'm like, but this is so interesting, but I don't understand. How do they live? How does the suit? My husband goes crazy with me because I just need to know everything. Okay, the point is, right? So these guys goes to the NASA and they're doing the whole tour, and the whole time everyone is asking questions, whatever. This guy doesn't ask any question. So suddenly they get to the end of the tour and there's a spaceship. So everyone is explaining everything. So the tour guide says, does anyone has any questions? So this guy lifts up his hand, and the tour guide is like, oh, now you have a question? Okay, what's your question? So he points at a little screw in the spaceship, and he said, what is this for? What is this? So the tour guide looks at him and he says, what is this? This is your question? Did you understand how it works in the air and the suit and the whole thing, and the only thing you have an issue with is the screw? That's the fool. You know what we do? We don't get anything anyways. Right? Whenever you start asking questions, and we all know this, you're not going to get any of the answers. You know, like, they're just so beyond us. But you know what people do? When you're lacking in your faith and you're lacking in your belief, you choose a screw to use it as the reason why you cannot get it, as the reason why you cannot do it. Is this what people do? They do it all of the time. If this doesn't make sense, nothing makes sense. So what? Did everything else make sense to you? Wait, do you understand how a baby is formed out of one cell? Do you ever even think about this? You know this. Do you understand this? So what? Because one screw, what tiny detail of the whole creation or everything you notice doesn't work, nothing works? That's what a fool does. You know, there was a famous story that one time this guy that went off the dare, he used to be frum and then he stopped being frum. He went to a Chafetz Chaim. So he was smoking on Shabbat, whatever, I don't know what it was. So he said to a Chafetz Chaim, do you mind answering me some questions about Judaism? So the Chafetz Chaim says, no problem. Before I answer your questions, I have a question for you. When did your questions about Judaism started? Before you stopped keeping Shabbat or after you stopped keeping Shabbat? So the guy looks at him and he said, my question started after I stopped keeping Shabbat. So the Chafetz Chaim looks at him and he says, then what you have is not questions, but rather excuses. You know? That's us. We look for excuses. I don't want to do this, so this doesn't work. This doesn't work, right? At the end, we spoke, yes, science, not science. It doesn't matter what works or doesn't work that much in such a big level because you're not going to get all of the things anyways. You know, you can't get something unless you know something, and you can't know something unless you were there, right? It's not something that you know. And therefore, we have to understand, it's not that there's no explanations, all of these things, but there's always going to be details that are going to be lacking. But if you choose to look at those details and be like, what is this, right? Then your questions are not coming from an honest place that you want to know, but rather you're just looking for excuses in order to be able to do whatever you want. Uchsil, that's a fool. A fool is someone that gets stuck in a detail, gets stuck in one thing, or even many things, but he could get the whole picture, but because he doesn't get this, he destroys the whole picture just with that. You understand? Great. So moving on.